bolting. I want to talk about bolting, but also the resolve for bolting also is going to be a resolve for separation anxiety. Believe it or not, I'm going to talk about the cue stay. Stay is the most amazing cue. It's my favorite cue. And it's an extremely valuable cue in so many ways. Guests are coming into the door. Place, stay. And now your dog is sitting there politely, or dogs, and yes, my dogs do this, as the guests come in. Polite dogs, right? Staying dog is a polite dog. People are leaving, or you're leaving, stay. And now the dog's not bolting out the door. Giving a treat to a different dog. Tell the other dog, stay, instead of him shoving his nose in there. Bending down to tie your shoe with a puppy, stay, instead of him bouncing all over and biting your shoelaces, right? Somebody's walking by in the street that doesn't want to interact with your dog, stay. A car is coming that your dog might react to, stay. Stay is amazing. I love stay. Now, I don't do it the conventional way. I know the common way to do stay is to say, stay, and back up and go, okay, and then the dog comes running to you. I always thought that was kind of sloppy, actually. There's too much room for error. The dog could get up early, make a left and start sniffing something, run past you, and you're rewarding the dog for breaking out of it. It makes no sense. It's completely silly. Anyway, when I do stay, I start with 3 feet away from a dog. I say sit, stay, and then I walk towards the dog. Good job. And then I do it again. 3 feet away, stay. I slide 1 foot back and walk back to the dog. Good job. Now, I keep doing this in small moves, going back a little further and a little further. And every time the dog realizes I'm getting a treat when she returns, I'm not going to get up because I get nothing for getting up. Because if a dog gets up, go, try again. And then they start staying like rock solid. I'm walking to the door, I'm opening the door, and I'm coming back. And when I'm in a guest's house, I'll say, okay, let's put me in the door. And then they say, place, stay. And then I come in the door. Then we add the doorbell. Can we get them to the place with the doorbell ringing? Stay. And then I walk in and the dogs are sitting there nice and politely on the rug. So by returning to the dog is more rock solid with that cue. If I'm on the beach and someone's coming and it's like maybe an elderly person's walking by and I know they don't want to deal with dogs, puppies, boulder. Like I'm on the North Shore of Long Island, by the way, and there's boulders and logs and it's my agility field over there. So puppies to the boulder, stay. And my 3 dogs are on the boulder sitting there as the person walks by, and then they wave and go, thank you. They appreciate that I'm managing my dogs, but in the meantime, I think it's cool. I'm just having fun with it. And that's the idea of training, is to have fun with it, not to have expectations and get frustrated if they fail. Dogs are going to fail. You can get 75%, 70% out of a puppy. And that's normal because you can't expect a mentality of a 3-year-old to act like an adult dog. Okay. And adult dogs, 90%, so 10%, you're going to have some times they're not going to do what you want. Totally normal. Now, I also do stay like that by returning to the dog because this helps with separation anxiety. Stay means I'm coming back. So what you're going to do is say, stay, and step back and return, and step back and return over and over again. Now, once the dog starts getting really comfortable with you doing this, say stay and go around the corner, but have your leg and your hand out there and come back really fast. Like stay, disappear really quick with something sticking out and come back. And then get everything out and come back. So now you're disappearing out of sight and coming back. And now the dog's figuring this out. Okay, they say stay, and they're coming back and I'm getting rewarded. Cool. Now you're going to start picking up the things you normally pick up to leave. Your keys, okay? So now you're going to pick up your keys and do the same steps. Stay, go back 2 feet and come back. Go back 4 feet and come back. Go back 1 foot and come back. Go around a corner and come back. Vary it, okay? We don't want to keep getting further and further because then they get stressed. It's not like the same way as when you're just doing stay. So now you're picking up your keys and then you put the keys back. And then pick up your keys again and put them back. And stay, stay, stay. So they start to figure out, okay, the keys don't always mean my owner's leaving. So I don't have to stress out when they pick up my keys, to pick up the keys. And then you can start using things like putting on your coat, putting on your shoes, getting the keys, doing all this, and then taking it all off and sitting down and watching TV. Now those things don't trigger your dog. This is where it starts to get to the point where you can test if it's working. When you get to the point where you can disappear or you can step outside and come back and the dog is still staying, add a test item. And I mean by an awesome bone or something your dog really loves, okay, that they can chew on. Kong, frozen Kong, or beef bone marrow bone, or beef knuckle. Stay. Put down the bone, disappear out of sight, either outside or around the corner, and count to about 10. When you come back, is the dog working on the bone? When the dog starts working on the bone when you leave, they're no longer stressed, because a stressed dog isn't touching that bone. They're not going to touch the bone until you come home, right? They're just waiting for you at the door, chewing your walls, destroying the house, pooping because they're anxious. Now, in this process, and this takes about 2 weeks, by the way, you want to take this in small moves for success, okay? We don't want to just keep stepping out the door and the dog's completely anxious and running to the door and breaking stay. So lots of small moves, 1 foot, 3 feet, 2 feet, 10 feet, 1 foot again. In those 2 weeks, I don't want your dog left alone. We want to completely avoid anxiety. Okay, so in that process, when you have to go somewhere, either bring your dog or have someone with your dog watching your dog for you. It's just for optimal success. Okay, we don't want to put them backwards by having stress when you leave again. Then you're going to get to a point where you can start to disappear, also within those 2 weeks, giving your dog the bone but filming it. Now walk down the street and come back and watch the video. Was he chewing the bone the whole time? Probably yes. And after he's done chewing the bone, he's going to be exhausted and just chill. And I've done this with a lot of clients where they took videos and their dog is now on the couch just hanging out and no longer anxious. So this is also the benefit of stay, because stay means I'm coming back. And have fun with it. I can't begin to tell you I love stay. Do it everywhere. You don't want to just do stay in one spot. I do it in the front door and stay, and I open the door and I go outside and I come back, the door is wide open. I'll do it in the back door because that's where they usually run out to play. So stay, and I go out onto the deck and I go across the yard. And then on the garage door where everybody comes in, stay, open the garage door, come back. I go into trails and say stay. On the beach, obviously, I say stay. Home Depot, in the toilet aisle when no one's looking. Stay. The looks I get when my dogs are staying, and I'm like 30 feet away going like this, and they're walking by that big aisle in the middle like, and my dogs are staying. It's cool. I was in my cul-de-sac, and I said stay, and all 3 dogs went like this, and I looked over, and there were 3 rabbits right there. Stay. And I walked back, and then I returned to them. They did not get up. And this is the thing, I tell clients this all the time. If your dog's not looking at you, that's even better. If they can stay like my dogs did, they were looking at the rabbits, but they knew to stay. That's even better. So they don't have to always be glued to you when you say stay, as long as their butt doesn't get up. And when I came back to them at that moment with the 3 rabbits, because I have 3 sporting dogs, I have a cocker, a Cab Springer mix, and a lab. When I came back, I jackpotted them with treats. Oh my, that was awesome. And then they were all excited and happy, and they forgot about the rabbits. So this prevents your dog from ever bolting, because you're always going to say stay before you open that door, and the dog's not going to budge. Put a Post-it note on that door to say with the word stay, to remind everybody to say it. Because when my kids were young, they kept forgetting to say it, and the lab I just rescued was booking out the door down the street. Of course, the best way to get a lab back is just whip out a tennis ball. Fetch! Anyway, so have fun with stay. Challenge it up. You know, I have my 3 dogs stay and then call one of them. Sophie, Sebastian, stay. Toby, come. Like that, you know, and mix it up. You know, if you have a couple of dogs, you can kind of have fun with that cue. So this creates a nice, polite dog, and a very solid stay is a really beautiful thing. That's an obedient dog, and it's fun. I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching.